Ever feel like when you're job hunting after the military, it's like you're speaking a whole other language? Like, how am I supposed to explain clearing a hot zone to someone who's never even seen a map grid?
Yeah, it's a common challenge veterans face. You've got all this incredible experience, but translating it into something that clicks with civilian employers can be tough. It's like its own mission.
Totally. That's why I'm so pumped for today's deep dive. We're checking out the DYPSI framework from Operation Military Family. They're all about helping veterans navigate those choppy waters of career transitions.
And what I think is so fascinating about DYPSI is that it takes those experiences, the ones that might feel like baggage, and reframes them into assets. It's about looking at those unique skills veterans develop under pressure and figuring out how to leverage them for civilian success.
Okay, so we're kind of flipping the script here.
Right. Yeah.
But where does DYPSI even begin?
Well, DYPSI stands for Discover Your Post-Service Identity, and it's broken down into 8 sessions. One of the first things they really emphasize is this idea of VUCA Max.
VUCA Max. Okay, that sounds kind of intense, like something you'd yell while doing push-ups.
Right. But actually, VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And these are all things veterans encounter constantly, right? And a lot of times, the civilian world sees these as negatives.
But DYPSI's like, hold up, these are actually superpowers in disguise.
Exactly. The DYPSI framework really encourages you to look back at those VUCA moments, those times you thrived in total chaos, and think about how they demonstrate your adaptability, your leadership, your ability to make decisions under pressure. I mean, that's gold to a civilian employer.
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to see the light here. So it's about owning those experiences, but then what? How do you actually package them for a potential employer?
That's where the vision element comes in.
Yeah.
DYPSI's big on getting crystal clear on what you want your life to look like after service. And not just like finding a job, but your whole life,
So we're talking big picture stuff here.
Absolutely. Health, relationships, career, your impact on the world. DYPSI guides you to create a vision for it all, and then helps you break that vision down into steps you can actually take.
So you've got this grand vision for your life. How do you make it a reality? Do they give you like a magic wand or something?
Something like that. They give you BHAs, big, hairy, audacious goals. These are those exciting, maybe even a little scary goals that get you fired up.
I'm all about setting big goals, but sometimes they can feel so overwhelming. Like, how does DYPSI make them feel doable?
They break them down into bite-sized pieces. They call them +1 micro goals.
Okay, I love that name. It makes them sound way less intimidating. So how do these I+1 micro goals actually work?
Okay, let's say your VHE is to start your own security consulting firm, right?
Okay.
Our I+1 micro goal could be something as simple as like, this week I'm going to research legal structures for small businesses.
Yeah.
It's about taking those small steps and making progress consistently.
Right. So it's less about instantly becoming the CEO and more about taking those first concrete steps.
Exactly. And those small wins, they build on each other. You look back after a few months of hitting those +1 micro goals, and that big goal, that BHAG, doesn't seem so impossible anymore.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that'd be motivating, especially when you hit those inevitable roadblocks. Speaking of roadblocks, career transitions can be tough. Are there any common threads or challenges that you see veterans struggling with specifically?
Absolutely. One of the biggest ones is just translating military experience into something that civilian employers can wrap their heads around.
Yeah.
Like a veteran might say they were responsible for maintaining aircraft armament, which sounds impressive.
Right. But I would have no idea what that even means in the context of a job application.
Exactly. So DYPSI encourages veterans to reframe that experience. Instead of maintaining aircraft armament, they can say, I ensured the operational readiness of complex weapons systems while adhering to strict safety and quality control protocols.
So it's like taking those skills and giving them a civilian makeover.
Exactly. And those are skills that translate to all sorts of technical and management roles.
Totally. Okay, so that's huge. How else does DYPSI help bridge that gap between military experience and actually landing a civilian job?
They're big on the power of storytelling. Veterans have incredible stories of leadership resilience, problem solving in high-pressure situations. Right? DYPSI gives them the tools to share those stories in a way that resonates with civilian employers.
Oh, that's so important. Because stories can be so powerful. But stories alone aren't the whole picture. What about those moments when life throws you a curveball? Especially during a career transition. How does DYPSI help veterans navigate those tougher times?
That's where that emotional connection to your vision and goals that we talked about really comes in. Remember those BHAs?
Yeah.
When you're connected to the why behind your goals, the reason those goals light you up, you're way more likely to push through those challenges.
So it's like having that fire inside that keeps you going even when things get tough.
Exactly. And it's not just about getting through those tough times. It's about developing a future-proof mindset.
Okay, yeah, we touched on that earlier. But what does that actually look like in practice? Like, give me an example.
Think about how often technology changes in the civilian world. How quickly industries change, right? A future-proof mindset embraces that change. It means being adaptable, always willing to learn new skills, and viewing uncertainty as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat.
So it's less about knowing what the future holds and more about being ready for anything.
Exactly. It's a mindset DYPSI really encourages veterans to cultivate. And frankly, it's a valuable mindset for anyone navigating the world today. Now, speaking of navigating, remember we mentioned the rule of 5.
Oh, yeah. The decision-making tool. We didn't really get into the specifics. You're going to have to elaborate on that one.
Okay, so imagine you're wrestling with a tough career decision. Maybe you've got a couple of job offers, or you're thinking about taking the leap and starting your own business.
Okay.
The rule of 5 basically says, look 5 years into the future and really think about where each choice might lead you.
That's interesting. So you're not just weighing the immediate pros and cons, but thinking about those long-term ripple effects.
Exactly. It's about looking ahead and getting in touch with your gut feeling about each path. You know, it's a way to make sure your decisions line up with that big vision you have.
Okay. I'm putting rule of 5 in my back pocket for sure. That's a good one. But let's get back to the DYPSI program for a sec. You mentioned earlier it's broken down into 8 sessions. What else can people expect when they sign up for this thing? Is it all one-on-one or is there like a group aspect to it?
You know, DYPSI is really designed to be adaptable. Some veterans might want that individual coaching, which is great, but some people really come alive at a group setting.
Yeah.
Where they can connect with others who get it, you know?
Right. Because there's something so powerful about that shared experience. Going through a career change is one thing, but having that support system of people who understand what you're going through can make all the difference.
Absolutely. And that feeling of camaraderie can be really important, especially for veterans who are transitioning from that tight-knit unit. It's about finding that sense of belonging in the civilian world, you know, finding your tribe who understand where you've been and support where you're going.
Yeah, it's like they're trading their squad for a whole new kind of team.
Oh.
I love that. So we've talked about a lot of the practical stuff today, but I'm curious about the emotional impact. Have you seen how this program affects veterans on a more personal level?
One thing that really stands out is this renewed sense of purpose, this feeling of direction, you know, because leaving the military can bring so many changes, and sometimes it can even feel like you're losing a part of yourself. But DYPSI helps veterans work through that, not just professionally, but personally. They begin to see themselves not as veterans who are transitioning out, but as individuals with valuable skills and a vision for the future.
It's like reclaiming their story, defining what that next chapter looks like and doing it on their own terms. That's got to be empowering.
Totally. And that change in perspective can be super powerful.
This has been so inspiring. We've covered a lot of ground today, from VUCA Maxes to those BHAGs and even that future-proof mindset. As we wrap up, is there one key thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this?
You know, if there's one thing I hope sticks with them, it's that your journey after service is this amazing opportunity to redefine yourself and your impact on the world. Never underestimate the incredible skills and experience you gained in the military. With the right support, like what DYPSI offers, you can achieve anything you set your mind to.
I love that. It's a call to action, you know, an invitation to embrace the unknown and step boldly into that next chapter. And for our listeners who are ready to learn more about the DYPSI framework and how it can help with their own career transitions, be sure to check out Operation Military Family. They have a ton of amazing resources available.
And remember, your journey is your own. It's okay to ask for help, to seek guidance, and to celebrate every single victory along the way. Your future is bright, and the possibilities are truly limitless.
And that, my friends, is a wrap on today's deep dive into the DYPSI framework. A huge thank you to all of you for joining us. We'll see you next time for another exciting exploration into the world of knowledge.